We have Paddy the Baddy Pimblett taking on Michael Mike Chandler. This is something that Manny Pacquiao does very well. Steps on the foot, he can't evade. So that's interesting. Good for you. Didn't realize that in the fight. The high kick, even though it doesn't land flush, he still has to block it. He throws his kick, you get a response. And right there, beautiful jab from Paddy Pimblett. Hands are down. It's perfect technique. Free kick. You can break somebody's arms that way. I think that he's very intelligent. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of fighters don't like him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, you know, his confidence is a little bit too high. I mean, he did what, you know, a lot of people couldn't do. So you give him 3 years, I think one day he will be a champion. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. We have another breakdown for you. We have Paddy the Baddy Pimblett taking on Michael Mike Chandler. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live. Now I was very excited for this fight. The reason why is because I feel that Paddy Pimblett is, I think he could be champion one day. And the reason why I say is that he's got decent striking. It's going to get better. The grappling is pretty phenomenal. He's submitted a lot of great guys, flying triangles, you know, Kimura's to triangle armbar, putting people to sleep and then breaking their arm. I mean, he just can do it all. So we're going to break down this fight. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live. Okay, let's get right to it, boys. I'm very high on Paddy the Pimblett. The reason why, I don't care if his last opponents were 2-6, like Colby Covington said. I don't care about that. I'm impressed about how he's able to go out there and navigate the fight and not take any damage against a pretty dangerous opponent. I bet you if you had Michael Chandler fight Colby Covington, I'm sure Michael Chandler is going to beat the fuck out of Colby Covington. You know, he's going to land a lot more shots on Colby Covington than he did on Paddy Pimblett. That's what I feel like. That's how I believe. But I don't know why people hate on Paddy. Paddy's very young. I mean, right here, you look at the stats, 30 years old to 38. 22-3, 23-9. This is where different. 5'10", 5'8". He's not a little he's not a little midget like you know, Paddy says. He always calls everybody a midget to their if he calls him a midget, I'm probably a fucking dwarf. Who knows? But I was very, very excited about this fight because I feel like Paddy Pimblett is just getting better. You know, obviously his hands aren't the cleanest, but it's almost like Dricus du Plessis. He has an awkward style about his stand-up, but he's able to get it done. There's Michael Chandler trying to avoid the right hand with his hands down. Both their hands are down, so check right hook would be able to get in there. But I think Paddy Pimblett's stance and like the way he goes about fighting is very, very unique and very good. But slips that, and right there, he was always beating Michael Chandler. Oh, right here. This is something that Manny Pacquiao does very well. Steps on the foot, he can't evade. So that's interesting. Good for you. Didn't realize that in the fight. But Michael Chandler can't go anywhere, and he's got him. That's going to land no matter what happens. So good for Paddy for finding that foot and stepping on it. And Michael Chandler did some decent work, but we always talk about Michael Chandler. He goes from 0 to 1,000 all the time. We've had him on the Mighty Cast. And that's where I think he's very good at. And I always say this, I feel like I'm curious to see how much time does Michael Chandler actually take from doing hard strength and conditioning, hard padded rounds, hard that, and said, I'm just going to take regular classes. I'm going to work on going patient, building my way up into the fight, right? We talk about in the gym, build your way into the fight, go out there, establish distance, establish range control, establish the void, understand the void. What are you working with? Take 5 minutes of the fight or 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the fight to establish that range. You heard him say it in the middle of the rounds. He's too far. He's too far. I can't get to him. He didn't find his time, his footing in the fight. Okay, he's too far. Let me find my footing. Let me find it. And that's what, you know, a lot of people say is that he's not patient enough to be able to find that. And does he take the time outside of training to get himself ready for that? He's always going to be in great shape. He's always going to have a physique of a god, you know, like Kratos. But does he take the time to sharpen the IQ instead of the body? That would be the question to ask Michael Chandler. It's like, how much time do you do of, hey, we're just going to do nice light, pop, 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 slip, pop, 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 double A takedown, okay, clinch, stop hands, angle, boom, boom. Like, how much time does he actually do that? That would be the question I would ask Chandler. Because obviously, he does a lot of strength and conditioning because he never gets tired. And then there is, you know, Paddy Pimblett just throwing different dynamics of weapons at Michael Chandler. The high kick, even though it doesn't land flush, he still has to block it. And even right there, Michael Chandler's doing a good job of getting a response, right? He throws his kick, you get a response. It lands, right? He eats that. Hands are good. Balance is good. Twisting the foot over. Technique is good for Paddy. Let's continue. And right there, beautiful jab from Paddy Pimblett. Hands are down. You know, this was Paddy Pimblett had a strong, stiff jab. He's longer than Chandler, so he's able to get in there and hit him. And that's why he felt far away, because Paddy Chandler didn't realize how close he was. He was landing those jabs. They were eating him up alive. And there's that body kick, not body, excuse me, a high kick. Once again, he's got to block it, so he throws it. It's perfect technique. Free kick. You can break somebody's arms that way. So, you know, why not throw it? And it's keeping Michael Chandler away. Michael Chandler has to block that. He can't. He can try to throw right hand, but he's gonna kick in the head. But the dynamic of his kicks and his attacks are so high. And obviously, Paddy has a very high IQ. If you listen to his corner, that's one of the things I really enjoy. Well, here's a new flash. When I would fight in mixed martial arts, my favorite thing about fighting was going back to the corner and talking to my corner and asking them, hey, what do you guys see? What you think? I never forget. I came back one time, I was fighting somebody, and I was like, yep, I saw it. Yep, I saw he was doing this. Yep, I'll get him. Yep. And we end up getting him. Like, that's my favorite time when I fight. And Matt knew that. Matt says DJ gets excited to come back to the corner to talk to me, to see what I see, to see we're both in alignment. And I felt that's what Paddy Pimblett was doing last night, Saturday night, when he did that. Here's a Superman punch from, you know, Michael Chandler. Always excited, always doing, you know, some Superman shit. And there it is. I mean, just look at the fucking physique of the guy. All right, body triangle time. We talked about this. You know, body triangle. Michael Chandler, in order for him to get out of this, he's got to get this foot from behind his knee. And it's hard to do that because, you know, he wants to turn this way, get his foot, take this foot, push that foot down, then walk his knee up and walk his knee behind that. And then he's in a, the guy has hooks in. He's got to work out the hooks. But he is on the wrong side. This is a good side for Paddy Pimblett because he can keep him on this side and punch. And that's his choking hand and that's his punching hand. And Michael Chandler has been here before. He got stuck there with Charles Oliveira. And it's just something that it's keen. It's happened multiple times against Michael Chandler. But body triangles suck. Like, I was grappling Aljamain Sterling. He got me to body triangle. Motherfucker armbar me from behind because it's such a bad thing to be in. I hate it, especially when you fight people who are longer than you. Like, there's nothing you really can do. It's like it's a check move. It's like, hey, if you make the wrong move, it's checkmate. Game's over. And there's Paddy Pimblett. What do you think? Do you think that's a good position for you, mate? And man, just the amount of damage Chandler has taken in his most recent fights is just, it's hard to watch because he's intelligent. He's successful. There's no reason to take this, in my opinion, there's no reason to take this amount of damage. And here he is, mountain Michael Chandler. I wish the fight would have got stopped a lot sooner. He took a lot of 12 to 6 elbows, the John Bones elbows, and just eating over and over and over. And me and the wife were sitting there just like, stop the fight, stop the fight. And I mean, here's the back shot right here. It's just, yeah, it was a bad. Paddy Pimblett just did that. And like I said, guys, I picked Paddy to win. I think that he's very intelligent. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of fighters don't like him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, you know, his confidence is a little bit too high. But, I mean, he did what, you know, a lot of people couldn't do. And he shocked the world because a lot of people thought, you know, even Conor McGregor, I think he lost a shitload of money because he picked Chandler to knock out Paddy Pimblett. But, you know, it's fighting. You're going to get hit. A lot of people are like, oh, well, Paddy gets hit too much. It is fighting. I'd rather somebody be able to take a shot than try to avoid getting. It's a weird thing. Paddy can take a shot, but right here, 20 shots. He only threw 31. He only threw 39, which is crazy. And that just shows you that he had a hard time getting to Paddy Pimblett. 4 takedowns. Pimblett did a good job when he got taken down. He came up and did a flying triangle, got released from it because, you know, Chandler had to, you know, defend it. Elbows to head for mount. Okay. That fucking cut, man. It's so, I mean, cut there, cut there. I mean, Michael Chandler's an absolute legend. You know, a lot of people don't know what's next for him, but if I was in Michael Chandler's camp, I was like, oh, let's hang him up, baby. You got enough money. You got enough zeros in the bank. We've had our run at the UFC. Are we just here to take damage and be, you know, what are we here for? What are you doing it for? Right? You want to stay competitive? You want to do other stuff? Go back to wrestling. Go back to wrestle. Go do IBJJF. Go do ADXC. Go do some grappling. If you want to compete, that's what I do. That I only grapple because, one, it challenges me and it still feeds the athletic side of me. I want Dustin. I'm gonna try to do my Paddy Pimblett voice. I want Dustin, Justin, Charles, or the little posh boy Armin. That's what I want next. I would love to see him fight. I think he beats Dustin because Dustin has trouble with people who take him to the ground. Justin, I think he can do the same thing to Justin. It'll be a lot. I think the biggest thing about these guys that he's going to have a hard time with is their grit and their technique on the feet. These guys. Charles, I think Charles is going to walk across the void and it's going to be a it's going to be a banger fight. And it's going to come down to grappling. But I think if he can get Charles to quit, if he can show Charles, like, I'm not going anywhere, and if he can push Charles to the limit, I think it'd be... This one would be the interesting one because Armin is super, super athletic. Very athletic and very, very hard to stop. But I like all three of those fights. I would love to see it too, Paddy. I would love to see it too. True classic. All right, so here are some of the things that people want to see next. Now, I'm going to give you guys my piece on this stuff. Alexander Volkanovski, we're going to mob Tsar Evloev. I think it'll be a great fight. I think Alex Volkanovski beats him because he's way too fast on the feet. I think Mob Tsar is going to have to take him to the ground, and it's going to be a grappling fest. So I'm giving Alex that win. Yair versus Diego Lopez. I'm not too sure about who win this one. If it has anything to do with his performance, if this Diego Lopez shows up to fight Yair, I'm gonna give it to Yair. Yair's just way more experienced. Yair has that jab down. He'll throw kicks. Yair's not scared to take any chances. Yair has been hurt before in his fights and hasn't recovered, but the Yair that I saw fight was very mature and he's very methodical how he went. Who wins this? Paddy Pimblett. I think Conor McGregor is past the time of fighting ever again. He's made way too much money. He's got way too much going on. Conor McGregor's striking is way higher level than Paddy, but Paddy's grit and grappling is way tougher than Conor. I'm going to go with Paddy. Diamond Race versus Carlos Umberg. I'm not too familiar with this gentleman, so I'm not going to comment on this one. Gene Silva versus Aaron Pico. Now, this one is the one I would have a question mark with because Aaron Pico is very, very good. He's still young. We haven't seen him fight top quality UFC caliber athletes. Great finishes. Pretty well rounded. Injury prone, meaning that his shoulder got dislocated when he was fighting and he was still trying to fight. And, you know, I just feel like he has a lot more going outside. Like, let me see the last time he fought. I feel like there's just a lot of injuries going on with Aaron Pico. That's what like comes to my mind. Aaron Pico injuries. Yeah, in December 22nd, his intense shoulder dislocation. You never seen this in history. It says he needs surgery after separating it. That's 2 years ago. Empirical details come back from a painful shoulder. Yeah, so his shoulders is his shoulder that, you know, took him out for a while. But now he's back. So I would love to see this. If, you know, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, this is probably the biggest question mark fight right here. Because we know Gene Silva or John is going to be able to push the pace against Aaron Pico. We'll have to see what happens there if that ever does happen. I think one day he will be champion. I truly believe that, guys. Like, all the times I've seen Paddy Pimblett fight, I see somebody who's constantly getting better. He kind of reminds me of Valentina Shevchenko, where Valentina Shevchenko showed up on the scene and she was a great kickboxer. Then next thing you know, she's taking girls down. Next thing you know, she's starting to submit people. Like, she's constantly getting better. Where Paddy Pimblett, you watch him fight. He's not the prettiest on the feet, but it's very effective. Then you also see him. He's not scared to throw submission and create scrambles. That's a big fucking it factor, right? And then he's able to go back to the corner, talk to his team. Once again, there's the IQ. And he's only 30 and he's only going to get better. I don't see him getting any worse, right? You give him, like I said, you give him 3 years. I think one day he will be a champion. I think that's a very, very logical statement to say, given the data I just given, right? Like, you know, let's look at the 155-pound division right now. Let's look at it right now. Let's see. Let's take a look. Where are we at? 155. That's bantamweight, featherweight. Oh, it's right here. Lightweight. Sorry, I'm just giving you guys a whole thing on these. Let's look at the lightweight. Okay. Dan Hooker is 6. Michael Chandler is 7. Okay. So I think a fight between him versus Dan Hooker would be a very, very good match. I think his next fight should be Dan Hooker when Dan Hooker comes back. Right there. But I feel like he can beat Dustin. Max will be very unique because Max got that fucking boxing. Charles will be interesting. But you look at it. Look at everybody who's been a champion here. Charles has been a champion. Just has been interim champion. Max has been a champion. Dust has been interim champion. Never champion, never champion, never champion, never champion, never champion, never. He's right there. So I don't see why the reason. In 3 years, I don't know if these guys will be fucking around. Max might be around. Dustin's almost on his way out. Justin's almost on his way out. So unless there's going to be some new badasses coming out of the scene, I don't see why he couldn't be champion in 3 years if he plays his card right and stay healthy and doesn't, you know, suffer any catastrophic injuries. And if you guys enjoyed the breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live. And please let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this breakdown. Do you think Paddy Pimblett will be a champion one day? Or do you think I'm, you know, retired and I'm blind and I don't know what I'm talking about? Or do you agree with me? Do you think he'll be a champion one day? Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. We will see you guys at the next video.